Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Medieval 2 Total War Definitive Edition here today on the channel. We have episode 8 of my HRE Holy Roman Empire series. Here today, we're going to kick things off with taking the city of Leon and killing the Spanish King Rodrigo. So, if you like this, and the faction actually, what? Oh wow, what a development. So, if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like and subscribe if you're new. I'd really much appreciate it. So, we're going to continue our conquest of Iberia, declaring war upon the Moors eventually, and finishing off the Portuguese. Alrighty, so von Saxony unfortunately died of natural causes. Mandorf has a new child. Von Saxony, a fantastic general in this series, instrumental in the conquest. We actually married him off in the last episode. He's got 4 children, 4 von Saxonies, to continue his line. We're currently under the reign of the new Emperor Henry. Alright, let's go. Okay, so we've got a couple armies operating in Europe. So we've got 2 3 stacks in Iberia, another 2 here in Sicily, with a little bit more in Naples. We've got Sigismund, the Emperor's 4th born and sort of runt of the litter son. He's going to hopefully take out the Sicilians and get rid of King Simon here, get rid of the Norman Knights, which claimed and took this land from the Italians. And then we're slowly but surely getting to the Hungarian and Polish border as well. We're still yet to open up a war on that front. So Sigismund, trying to earn his name as Sigismund, the Conqueror of Sicily. Got a bunch of Teutonic knights with him as well. So I can't wait to see how well they perform and fight on the battlefield. But Sicily have a really strong unit roster in this game. One of the best in starting positions.
Stronger than any mortal armor. His wrath against our foes is 1,000 times better than 1,000 arrows. Our faith gives us his aid, and more. It will give us victory. Now cry, Sankt Michael, and look for that victory. Those Sicilians are the servants of Satan. The devil must be scraping the barrel to use such as them. Let us return them to their master. Trust our foes to come ill-prepared, for Sankt Michael has clouded their minds. Well, we shall take advantage of their lack of spears, and use our horsemen to full advantage. And now we come to battle. I remind you that it is a soldier's duty to obey orders from time to time. I do not shout because
Let's get stuck into the Sicilians, the servants of Satan, supposedly. Alright, looking at this army build, 5 units of spearmen, mostly mercenary spears. We're a little bit, well, cavalry top heavy in this one around. And we're a little bit light on the bow front as well. But those armor piercing crossbow bolts will be incredibly beneficial to try and take out those heavy armored Sicilians. But we've got a bunch of Teutonic knights here and mailed knights as well. We'll keep Sigismund in the rear. So we'll try and surround and envelop the Sicilian king. And we'll send these Teutonic knights on over. I guess we adopted a lot of crusaders in the population. We've yet to go on crusade in this series, which I still intend on doing. So let's charge on in, swarm, and get rid of the King of Sicily. Here's hoping. So for this series still, I want to experience sort of the end game of Medieval 2. So I want to try and sail over to the New World. I want to go on crusade as well. We might even take some Egyptian territories up at some point. So there's still a lot more episodes and a lot more things to do in this series. But here are the Norman Knights. These guys look fantastic. Sicily is a really underrated faction to play as in Medieval 2. One of my favorites. Like, it's so good. Oh, and we've killed the enemy king. Because you start off with the crucially and secure location of Sicily itself, and you can build it up to a mega. It's like one of the best castles early on in the game. You can also, if you follow strictly papal quests and decrees, you can nearly call a crusade. Like, I remember doing this in one of my series. I don't think it was on... No, it wouldn't have been on YouTube. It would have been previously. I don't think I've done a Sicilian series on YouTube. But yeah, I remember calling a crusade on Tunisia, and then you can take North Africa. You can just sort of steamroll from there up the Italian peninsula and bring it under your control. I'd nearly recommend Sicily and, like, England as one of the two factions to play as. But we're going to be doing a bunch of more turns, which I'm excited. It's been a while since I've gotten to the late game of Medieval 2. Oh my god, as the Norman knights lay dead upon the field of battle. Because I always tend to hit my victory conditions a lot earlier. It just depends on the faction. Sometimes you can hit it between 40 to about 60 turns, your long victory conditions. Even earlier with the Holy Roman Empire, because I believe they're the... If you play it out well, the easiest to faction to play as. But the only problem is if you don't micro well, you get overwhelmed with managing so many settlements and multiple fronts early on. That can be the only issue. Alright, let's move things back just slightly. Those cavalry pulled up just a bit too close for my liking. Okay. So we'll try and move my infantry in place, and we'll get some shots off. But interestingly enough, both in this war and the wars against the Spanish, they haven't actually decided to be cowards and hide behind their high walls. They're actually coming out and fighting on the field of battle. Like brave Christians they are. The battlefield isn't the best for both sides here. Pretty hilly and rough terrain. A lot of tree coverage as well. Can't really see anything. But somehow our crossbowmen are identifying and targeting Sicilians. Locking on in and getting their shots off. But here come the dismounted Norman knights. We've got some additional general bodyguard come on here, as we've killed and captured the enemy king. Okay, so sort of trading at the moment. I might see if they just lock in place, because we've got cavalry supremacy. We don't want to be flying on in and committing our Teutonic knights, because they're quite expensive to recruit, and we only can get it from some certain areas. Frankfurt, Nuremberg, some of the northern Germanic cities only can recruit them. So we do want to try and be, let's say, a little bit frugal with their casualties and losses. But the Sicilians have a really good roster. I don't know how well we're going to avoid that. But their general's bodyguard's now moving on in. And then once we take Sicily, we can use that as a launch pad into North Africa to eventually declare war upon the Moors. We want to target the Christian faction so we can get back into the Pope's favour, as we're still excommunicated. But normally that's quite a harsh penalty in Medieval 2. At this time in the campaign it's not, as the Papal States have been destroyed on the battle map, which obviously the faction doesn't destroy. They still have to do. They're the papacy in all but name. I kind of wish when you took Rome it kind of dissolved it, that you're fully under the control of it. It's kind of weird owning Rome and having imperial bodyguards there. But I guess we haven't stormed Vatican City, I don't know. Like, even if they call a crusade against us, it's going to count for nothing.
Our men are winning the battle.
Alright, our men are winning the battle.
Continue like this, and victory is ours.
Perfect. And you got to give it to Sigismund. After Leopold.
The enemy has lost half his army.
Dying of the plague. His brother Henry is now emperor. He needs to earn his spurs. Maybe he can be the provincial governor of Sicily and form his own kingdom in and out of here. Alright, let's speed things up. I feel like the majority of their army is in retreat. There we go, got rid of another general. Yeah, look at this. Absolutely in disarray at the moment. But the Teutonic Knights did take some casualties. Those crossbowmen. Piercing and shredding them is probably the culprit, I'd say. Oh, cool. So there was a couple units in Defiant there, but now we're officially going to try and run down and scoop them all up. Cool. And then we can look to the Eastern European front. Mustn't have too many settlements left, you would imagine, Sicily. Just depends how well they did. There wasn't too much of a presence in Naples. They had a lot around Sicily, which is understandable, but they don't. They might have Sardinia and Corsica. It'd be bloody annoying if they've got Cyrenaica or any territories super in Egypt. We'll just have to sort of see and find out. You'd imagine they'd have Tunisia adopting the ancient port city of Carthage, because the AI tends to go down that way. Even the human player. Like, it's such a good settlement. Like, even that as well, playing as Sicily. Those North African colonies are incredibly useful. And if you sort of want to role play and you sort of fear the papacy and the Pope, going after Orthodox / Moors and other factions as well that aren't Catholic will allow you to conquer those territories without the Pope really caring or getting involved. So we've managed to get a family member here. No, we're going to continue upon our resistance is futile policy, and Sigismund can march into Palmiro and take the fort. And he's going to be able to retrain as well. We might as well upgrade it to a citadel. It's got the population, they just didn't have the finances. So we're going to make this a beast, an absolute beast of a settlement in the heart of the Mediterranean. Yeah, so 54 turns. If they had the money, Sicily could have made the island of Sicily quite literally a fortress. Another pope is dead. Oh no! A crusade has been called on Constantinople. Would you believe it? Who's gonna join, I wonder? And oh wait, did it get cancelled because the pope got taken out? No. Oh my god, we've gone through so many popes. Like 4 or 5? So Venice, Sicily, Denmark, Portugal. Well, I'd only really fear about Poland or Hungary. The rest are very diminished or are in active wars with me. Okay, so Otto the Merciless. Von Kessel. Yeah, we do want to try and marry off some of these other princesses as well. General Raps. Oh no, what's this? Okay. Hungary joined. Oh wow, did they just like spawn an army there? What the hell? Thankfully we've got a full stack there. We've got like, I don't know, 8, 9 armies fully in operation with generals commanding open like legions, let's say, imperial armies. But really, we do have a lot of garrisoned units. We've got a couple generals here heading over to Constantinople just to defend it because we've got no generals east in the empire. Right, back down in Sicily. So they haven't taken Calgary. And we actually have Sardinia. We don't have Corsica. They do have Tunisia, which is interesting. We'll try and take that. We also want to try and gobble up as much of the major faction territory that border us, and even the rebel territory as well, as we push into Portugal and into Valencia. Alright. So really just got to watch out for the Hungarians there. Besieging Constantinople, they have Sofia. So war with the Hungarians is going to kick off. Alright, we're going to push into Venice with Emperor Henry. Oh, we can attack in one turn because of the ballista. Well, let's do that then. It's only a rebel army, we should be fine. It's not a major faction, we're not going to need to worry about siege equipment. Okay, more reinforcements going to Toledo. Let's focus on finishing off the Portuguese, and then we can deal with the Moors. So Mandorf, you can head north to Hamburg. Prince Conrad's here. Well, seeing as the Hungarians attacked me, I was actually thinking going to war with Denmark or the Poles first, but if we can strike Budapest while the Hungarian armies are distracted... I'm just trying to see what we're working with. We might be better off just to attack. Yeah. Well, let's do that. Let's have the Battle of Constantinople as thousands of hairy, hungry Hungarians want to come and take the city. We're not going to get a general speech. Oh, wow. So we're defending our first crusade. It's because we completely destabilized the papacy and Christendom pretty early on. When the crusade got called, it was just not good. Like, if a crusade gets called on you and you're not either England, France, the HRE, you should be pretty shit scared pretty early on. Because that's the main thing. If you get those three major belligerents like at you, whether if you're Sicily or Milan or Spain, those guys can absolutely steamroll you. Right, so we've got a couple of options here to deal with Constantinople, because we're attacking them at the end of the day. We want to force this offensive attack into a defensive one. So we've got a couple of options. It just depends how the AI reacts. Sometimes they do charge, sometimes they don't. But the thing is, if we're evenly matched, and if we've got the balance of power in our favor, they're probably not going to go. Because that's the thing, the AI makes the calculation that, oh, we got a better chance of winning this, is where they charge, but sometimes they don't. So I think what we'll do is we'll move our archers on the walls. That's a really good protection, because no one can get to them. Then what we'll do, we'll march all the infantry out, and we'll get our skirmishers to harass as well. But we'll basically, what's the best way to describe it? Make an outer wall, a wall with our infantry. Like, we'll angle it, we'll make a front line, and that might get them to attack. Also, if we start annoying the absolute buggery out of them with our skirmishers, that might make them charge. If nothing goes to plan, we'll advance slightly to use our arrow towers, but we'll see how we go. Sometimes they will attack us here in the transition. We do have reinforcements coming in though as well, so that might complicate things. We'll see how we go. So, just a little bit of a rough blueprint, something like that, eh? Will be, better than something like that. There we go. Alright. Let's advance. So they're coming out to match us. They got their own crossbowmen there, so they're going to try and pepper us. But who would have thought a Constantinople controlled by Imperial Germanic powers and, well, the Hungarians being the defenders and last line of a free and liberated Catholic Europe. Okay. What type of timeline are we living in? Okay, so some of our Balkan archers are getting their shots off. So we are annoying them, but hopefully, it doesn't seem not enough. Hopefully we can do more, because they're actually pulling further back, if anything. Well, I guess we're wasting some of their crossbow ammunition. Alright, just need to switch that off flammable. As I do not prefer it. We're getting a little bit tanked here. They are arcing their shots well. Alright. We just need them to attack this, because we win. Like, literally. If they, charge us. I'm just trying to see if us sitting back is doing more damage. Like, are they just, like, whittling it? Are we giving them an advantage if we sit back? Because we are losing a fair few. We might just need a charge. Or at least make that a bit better, because they've got a weird angle that's diminishing our infantry numbers there. Alright, try and hit those. They have a fair few amount of decent archers and skirmishers. 13. The tick rate is a bit. It's only a 5% sway, so it's a little bit too close for my liking. Our archers are getting their shots off in some instances on the walls, but it's not enough for them to be there, I don't think, if they're not going to charge. I might need to send a cavalry unit in. No, that's the... I hate that. That they gave the general command to the 10-man cavalry unit. Oh, they have attacked there, though. It's even bloody 4% now. I'd rather be an infantry unit with the general. Just protect him a little bit more. I think we'll advance up and then see if they attack. Because we're taking heavy fire here now. If we sit any more back, it's not going to be advantageous for us. So we'll advance so that we can allow our archers just to help out a bit. We might even catch some crossbows there, and we will. And if you're approaching them, maybe even give off some attack orders as well. There we go. Okay, let's continue to go for it, I guess. If we've caused a trickle, we very well might be able to cause a flood. If we're lucky. And now they're advancing. So, this is sort of the plan I'd implement. If I'm being sieged and we want to advance, because it's a fine line, because obviously defending is more advantageous. However, if you're being sieged out for 5-6 turns, you're going to be in a worse position than you would be actually charging. Because you just lose so many men, particularly on the newer Total Wars. The amount of men you lose from disease and starvation and plague and pestilence from inside the city just ain't worth it. Alright, so now we're getting stuck into some Slav mercs here. Try and target the general's bodyguard. Our archers are going to move up, so they're going to be a bigger and better help. But if we're successful here today, we should be able to basically say, hey, Poland, Denmark, Portugal, no crusades for you. Or you will lay upon the fields like on Constantinople like the Hungarians. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense for the Pope to call a crusade. from Vatican City, even though the faction's destroyed, and we'll just march on in.
This battle progresses well for the Empire. Stay strong, and the enemy will be defeated.
I wonder if they'll do that in the remaster, if and when it comes out. Or if or when. Because they've already added a lot of quality of life features into the mobile game. I saw a thing that was like you can declare factionaires and choose that on the Medieval 2 mobile port. I was like, yes! You can do it! For years we have to use mods. Because I'm the type of person that likes to roleplay instead of track my lineage and track the army / general's achievements. I think that's what it's all about. I like getting some general's grandfather was taken out by the English and getting paid back for taking London or whatever. I've always found that stuff sort of fun about Total War. Okay, so it looks like the Hungarians are withdrawing back to the lands from whence they came, which is fantastic. Constantinople will remain now under Roman control. I say in jest, or Imperial Germanic control.
Behold how our cowardly
Or whatever.
foe runs.
Alright, let's just try and run down as many of them so we don't have to deal with them again. Thankfully I left quite a large garrison here. I'm surprised they called it on Constantinople though. I wonder why they did that. Maybe they were communicating with the Hungarians. Like, you think they want to retake Rome, wouldn't they, or something? I don't know. Oh, they fled back to a ship there. That's annoying. We're going to have to send the navy up there. Maybe, maybe not. Alright, back in North Africa, Sigismund can continue his conquest against the Sicilians. We'll also take Calgary as well. As a bit of a side note, with Hans Weinmuth. Alright. I didn't realize his last name was like Muth. Alright. Ah! The Moors have attacked me. Alright, we couldn't even crush that Hungarian navy during the end turn. We actually lost, if anything. Alrighty, so... Oh, that's annoying. I wanted to declare war upon them after we finished with the Portuguese. Oh, it's just so annoying. Having to deal with defensive wars. I wasn't ready. Okay, well I guess we'll send the Emperor back to Toledo. Oh, we might actually build a watchtower here and then just sort of see what's going on down here. Alright, let's swing on into Lisbon. Seems to be a little bit of resistance here, but there shouldn't be too much to deal with the Portuguese. And this is actually enough, thankfully. I don't like to accept man of the hours. Unless we desperately need to. I want someone to have some weird birthright to command. And we can track the lineage through blood. Random generals just kind of ruin it a bit. I do actually don't mind man of the hours that say, hey, you've only got like 2 generals. Like, you got the king and the prince, and then if you need more generals, a man of the hour is like really worth it. But at this stage, we start so with such a small family tree. Now it's getting to the stage where it's just sprawling on out. Because I've been quite active in the marriage department for my family members. Alright, so after the successful defense of Constantinople, we can actually push on against the Hungarians. Unfortunately, Hamburg's been besieged by the Danes, so that as well. That's annoying. We might actually lose that, actually. It's interesting though because yeah, I was just double checking. So Conrad's half Danish. I forgot about that. So he's got a claim to the Danish lands. That was the only marriage we had. Yeah, they're going to take it as well. Oh my god, we've had Hamburg for so long, but another surprise attack along with the Moors. Hamburg will fall to the Danes. Oh, wow. Yep, sure, we'll marry you off. So we're going to have to move our forces to Magdeburg. Oh, and Poland's now joined. So we are going to have to keep quite a strong military presence at Constantinople. It might be the first of many battles in and around the city to come. Right, let's move up there. We'll take Tunis as well. Actually, can I move you in just to help us out? Can we somehow get you in here? Yeah, there we go. Just to make that auto-resolve a little bit easier on us. Perfect. 3 family members inside. 1 infantry unit. Tunisia. Carthage has been liberated. And no faction destruction has popped up. So maybe they've taken a Moorish settlement potentially. Or they might have territory down in Egyptish or not. Back in Budapest. That's not a large garrison really. Orwinus von Kessel is going to take Budapest, which is a pretty big coup. One of the largest cities in Hungary. Right, well, on that note, I played for like an hour here today, so I'm going to end things up. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for, episode 9 coming out soon. We've still got a bunch more stuff to do in this campaign. Now we've got to deal with the, finishing off the Portuguese. Now we've got to deal with a war against the Moors, which I'm not quite ready for. But to be fair, now that we've got Tunisia, Carthage, we can swing around and help. The Hungarians declaring war upon us and having that crusade has thrown a bit of a spanner in the works. But we've still got to chip away against Denmark, Poland, and Hungary. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, we're going to play the outro now. Take care. Unfortunately, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Check out my social media links in the description below if you want to stay connected with me. I also want to say thank you to this month's patrons and channel members: Victor K, Sebastian C, Jordan K, Caesar L, Brian S, Tao, Lion B, Kyle P, Tom C, and White P. My name has been Simpzy. Much love from Australia. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.